Hello everyone, good morning all. So let's have continuation of our FAANG and MNC's SQL queries. So this is our first query of today. So we have given the table actions table, and in that user ID, post ID, action date and action and extra column is given. This table may have duplicate rows. The action column is actually it is a varchar of data type, and it has some values like you like, reaction, comment, report, share. The extra column has optional information about the action such as reason for report or type of reaction. Extra is never null. Write a solution to report the number of posts reported yesterday for each report reason. Assume today is 5th July 2019. So this will be our report reason, right? Write a solution to report the number of posts reported yesterday for each report reason. So now note, they have given us some note hey, we only care about report reasons with non-zero number of reports. Do not consider the non report reason, right? So they have given us the actions table. We have already created the actions table based on the given schema, and we have already inserted the data into the actions table. Now let me select first data from the actions table. So okay, now we have to see which date we have to consider as yesterday date, because they have given us assume today is 5th of July, right? So 4th July is our yesterday date, right? So let me select the data from the 4th July. Action date equal to 4th July. Now we have to count the action which is report only, right? So that for that we need to add one more filter over here where end action equal to report. And now based on the group by of this extra column, on that particular date, how many action has been done, or how many post has been done, how many distinct posts has been done, we have to identify that one, right? So that over here in some of the extra column they have given us the none value, so we need to eliminate this none value. So let me do that. Extra not equal to none. So let me select the data. So if you see over here on the 4th of July, there are two posts has been done by the two different users, right? And on the again for on the 4th of July, there are two different posts has been done by same user. But now our requirement is to calculate the number of posts, number of distinct posts, right? So let me select the data. We need to identify extra, comma, count of distinct post ID as distinct post. Now let me select the data. Okay, because of we have used the aggregate function, we need to use group by, right? So if you see over here, for the racism, two distinct posts are there, and that is done by the same user as we have seen it already. And for spam, there is one distinct post has been done by for spam extra reason. So this should be our output. Let me know if you have any doubt in this query. Please put it in the comment section of the video. Now let's jump to the second video. Second query. So they have given us the table customers table, and in the customer table they have given us customer ID and customer name column. Customer ID column with unique values for this table. The customer name is the name of the customer, and second table they have given us is the orders table. So order ID, customer ID, product name. So here customer ID and customer ID column is common column in both the tables, customers table and orders table. Order ID is the column with unique values for this table. Customer ID is the ID of the customer who bought the product name. Now, this is very interesting question. Write a solution to report the customer ID and customer name of the customer who bought product A, who bought product A as well as product B, but did not buy the product C, since we want to recommend them to purchase this product. Return the result table ordered by customer ID. The result format is in the following example. So this is the customer table they have given us, and this is the orders table they have given us. So if you see over here, customer ID 1 has purchased A, B, D and C. But now what is our requirement? We require only customer who has purchased product A, B, but not C. So if you see over here, this customer ID 3 has purchased A. Now again this customer ID 3 has purchased B. This customer ID 3 has purchased D, but it has not purchased C, right? It has not purchased the product name equal to C. So this should be 3 is our output. Customer ID 3, name is Elizabeth, will be our output. Now I have already created the table and inserted the script data into the same. Now let me start with the solution. So if you see over here, first we need to identify the customers who has purchased the product A. So we can identify with the inner join only, right? 1, 2 and 3. So if you see again the table, customers table and orders table, let me select the data from the same. So now if you see both of this table, customer ID 1 has purchased the product A, then customer ID 2 has purchased the product A, customer ID 3 has also purchased the product A. So that will be given by this query. 1, 2, 3, right? Now again we need to identify which customer has product purchased the product B. So 1 and 3 only has purchased the product B. 2 has not purchased the product B, right? So 1, 2, if you see 2 has purchased only product A but not product B. So 2 is eliminated over here. So now we need to identify those customers who has purchased product A and product B as well as both product, right? So that we have used the intersect over here. And now what is our requirement? So again we need to use this data so that I have encapsulated this result or wrap this result as a derived table, and This entire table is now considered as a T table. And now I am again selecting same columns from this entire derived table. Now what is our requirement? Now our requirement is we need to accept this result set from those customers who has not purchased product C. So if you see over here 1 and 4. So now let me again see this data. Customer 1. Customer 1 has purchased the product C and 4 has purchased the product C, right? But now we do not require that data, right? 1 and 4 we do not require that data. So we require A and B and they have not purchased the product C. So our result set should be 3. So what is this result set is given? It is given 1 and 3. And this is given 1 and 4. So 3 will be our output, right? Because 1 is common in both the tables. So let me execute this result. So 3 Elizabeth has purchased only product A and B but not C. That will be our output, right? So let me jump to the next question. So here they have given us the activity table. So in the activity table, player ID, device ID, event date and games played column has been given. Player ID and event date is the primary key combination of columns with unique values of this table. This table shows the activity of the players of some games. Each row is record of a player who logged in, played a number of games before logged out on some day using some device. Write a solution to report the fraction of players that logged in again on day after the day first logged in. Round the round the round to two decimal places. In other words, you need to count the number of players that logged in for at least two consecutive days, starting there from their first login date. Then divide that number by total number of players. So here, if you see over here in the activity table, player ID 1, device ID 1, and event date is 1 March. 1st March. It's then same player ID 1 is again login on the 2nd March. So this we need to consider, right? Because login date will be a consecutive date, or you can say that event date over here is consecutive date, right? Over here and over here, actually over here only. So now this is the player. How many players? Only one player, because if you see, the second player is event date is only one, and third player is two event date, but 4 months of gaps, right? So only one. One divided by how many? One, two, and three distinct player ID. So one divided by three. That will be 0.33 will be our answer, right? So only player with ID 1 logged back in after the first day he had logged in. So answer is 1 divided by 3, 0.33. So I have already created the table and inserted the data into the same. Now here we need to use the leg function over here to identify the next day of the use. Sorry, lead function over here to identify the next day of the event of the same player ID. So that lead function to identify the next value based upon parameter. So here even date is given, right? So if you see over here, this is the first March, then this is the second March. So that second March will become over here. Then if you see over here, for this user, there is no previous value is there, or there is no next, sorry, there is no next value is there, right? So it will be null only, and for this next value will be 3rd of July. Now what is our requirement? Now this, so this will be considered into the first city, right? So now what will be the second city? If you see over here, the second city will be a use of the first city, and we need to now identify the date difference between these two date into the days, and it should be only one, right? Because next day event date should be the next day of the first event date, right? So there will be only one date difference between these two date, and now we need to identify the players. We need to identify of the players who has logged in, or whose event date is the next day of the event, first event date, right? So that will be the distinct player will be one. And now how many total number of players are there? So let me copy this data, sorry, copy this column. Now let me check. This is extra, so we need to remove it. Now let me execute this query again. So if you see 1 and 3 is our result, right? So here we need to do 1 divided by 3 and then multiply by 100 to identify the percentage. So 0.33 will be our answer, right? 1 divided by 3. Total number of players we have written over here in the division, and those players whose event date is next event date from the first event date, right? So difference should be the only one. So this should be our output. So thank you so much, everyone. We will come again with a few FAANG and MNC questions as soon as possible. And if you like this video, please do comment and share as much as possible, and do subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you.